Autopilot Health episode 2. Here we go. Today we're talking about the basics, calories, because this is a very important conversation to get out of the way, especially in the beginning. Because if you aren't focusing on your calories and your goal is fat loss, nothing else will matter. Nothing else will move the needle like calories will. Because we're going to go over it in the next few episodes, but calories really show your weight, macros show your body composition, and your micronutrients show how you feel. So if you don't get your calories down packed, then of course you're going to have a hard time seeing that scale move. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about my experience of calories because I've tried a lot. I've tried the whole just only eat quality food and the calories will take care of itself, which kind of works. I've also tried all that matters is calories, which kind of works. But we're going to talk about the nuance of both of those because there's so much noise online. And my goal is to always just kill the noise and tell you what the truth is. And a little hint, the truth is always simple. If it isn't simple, it isn't the truth. Health is simple, convenience is a trap. That's why I called it that slogan, is because it's literally so true. If it isn't simple, it isn't the truth. Health is simple. Simple does not mean easy. Easy just means, or shall I say, simple just means that it's simple. Simple can still mean hard, and it is hard. But if you don't do what is hard in life, you're never really going to feel that good. Because if you always do the easy thing, then you're going to end up like everyone else. And let's be honest, most people don't want to be everyone else, but they just don't put in the work to be the top 1% or whatever. And I'm here just to show you that it is very, very simple. Do not overcomplicate it. 80% of the equation of getting in really good shape and feeling amazing and looking amazing is just doing the basics that you probably already know. It's getting 7 to 9 hours of high quality sleep a night, eating proper food 90% of the time, going to the gym, lifting some weights 3 times a week, and just moving. Moving is medicine. 10,000 steps a day, higher the better. Do those four things, that's 80% of the equation. Once you get that down packed and that's mastered doing that consistently, then you focus on the 20%, which is like the supplements and all the biohacking stuff. But if you don't have the biggest pieces of pie down packed, you're not going to move the needle. And the major one is calories. Especially when I get asked, "Oh, what's the best ab workout?" The best ab workout, if you want to see your abs, is to eat less. That's your best ab workout because your body is revealed in the kitchen and muscle is built in the gym. You are not going to be able to build enough muscles in your abs to actually pop through your fat. You need to just lose the fat. And there's a reason why I said fat, not weight. The goal is not weight loss. The goal is fat loss because just because you lose 10 or 20 or 30 pounds on the scale doesn't mean you actually lost that in fat because you don't want to just lose weight, aka weight loss, because that could be a lot of muscle too. And then you'll hit your weight goal, but then you'll look a way you don't want to look. The goal is fat loss. The goal is to maintain strength, if not get stronger, while you're in a calorie deficit to be able to lose fat. So you're still hitting your PRs or at least maintaining, but you're losing fat. That is the goal, fat loss, not weight loss. So when it comes to abs, and seeing them, you just have to eat less. And this is where it all comes down to the basics. Josh, how do I even know how many calories to eat? Well, there's a bunch of online calorie calculators that you just type your height, your weight, your activity level, all these sort of things, and it just gives you your calories. That is more than accurate. And especially if you've never tracked your calories ever, just start there. Because even if it's a little bit off, you need to get some data first before you start fine tuning. You are just waiting for the perfect thing to start if you were trying to find the perfect number of calories to eat before just actually eating the calories. Whatever any calculator gives you, they're all going to be around the same. And again, if even if it's a few hundred calories off, worst case scenario, starting to track your calories and eating even around that is going to give you way better results than just waiting to find the perfect calories. And no, just start tracking all your food. There was a study done that literally they gave a bunch of people food scale and it just said weigh your food for the next month. That's all they told them. And sure enough, over the next month, they lost 5 pounds just from tracking their food. They never said for fat loss, for weight. They didn't give them any goal. They just said track your food. Most people are eating 50% more calories than they think. I am telling you, when I first started tracking my food, I was astonished with how much calories are in some foods. When I first started eating meat, I loved fish and chips. I know it's not healthy, but I was just exploring things when I first started eating meat. Because if you didn't know, I was vegetarian for 19 years. So when I first started, I remember I loved my fish and chips. I get my haddock fish and chips, my French fries. It was amazing until I realized that that one meal, if cooked the wrong way, is all of my calories for the day. And that is the power of just tracking. It is awareness. If you don't know how much calories you're eating, no wonder you can't stay in a calorie deficit because you don't even know how many calories you're having. You need to track your calories. That is the first step. And this brings me to a little side point of, well, what if I only eat high quality foods? Do I have to track my calories? I tried this. So over the past 6 to 12 months, I've been eating really clean, really clean. But when I dove in and quit my job and went all in on entrepreneurship, and I was completely sober, there was a lot going on in my life, and I really turned to food for my dopamine. So I was very strict in the way of I only ate high quality food. That was my very strict rule is I wasn't going to eat any processed BS. But I was I wasn't tracking my food. I went off of that. I went off of it because I was in the best shape of my life in June of 2025. I was like 10% body fat, feeling amazing. But then I pushed that cut a little bit too far. And then I kind of pulled that rubber band, I like to call it, and I snapped. And I started going up in or not calories. Well, I did go up in calories, which led in weight. And yeah, I was just eating a lot. Like I was binge eating. I had a binge eating problem at the beginning because again, there's so much new change. I lost my identity of a pilot. Now I'm a pilot fitness coach, and this is all so new. And I was comparing myself to these fitness influencers that have been working out for 5, 10, and 15 years. And also they say they're natural, but they're on all this substances, and I just was going down this rabbit hole. And anyway, point being was I was eating high quality food, but I wasn't tracking, and it was just leaving me softer than I wanted to be. And if you want to be under 20% body fat, if you genuinely just only ate high quality food, your body will naturally climatize to that. But where the caveat is that even myself, where I knew how clean I was eating, I still wasn't eating clean 100% of the time. So that's why that rule doesn't really work because most people say they're eating, even if we follow the classic 80-20 rule, most people say they're eating good 80% of the time. But let's be honest, it's more like 70 or 60 or maybe even 50 or less. So that is a problem with only eat high quality food is that most people aren't. And on top of that, just because it's quality food doesn't mean that you can't still eat in a surplus. There was this one guy who he was complaining to his doctor because he's like, I don't get it. Like, I'm not losing weight, but all I eat is oranges. And he's like, well, how much oranges do you eat in a day? And I think it was like something crazy, like 200 oranges or something. And he's like, well, yeah, no wonder. Like, oranges still have calories. Everything is supposed to have calories. A little strawberry has calories, even though it's very, very low. Bread has calories. Meat has calories. Cheese has, like, everything has calories. So, even if it's high quality food, yes, there's the argument of your body will know when to stop, but you still don't know until you know. So that's where tracking comes in. It's very easy to go over. And again, like I said, if you want to just be under 20% body fat and you don't really have a goal of being like very, very lean, you can get away with that, but if you want to be precise and have that dream body of yours, and most importantly, that health too, you're gonna have to track your food because there's also other metrics you want to know, like how much sodium you're having, how much potassium you're having, how much all your other micronutrients are, and that's gonna be a later episode. But today we're just focusing on calories, and that's my whole thing is I test everything that I tell you guys. And for the past 6 months, I was only eating quality food, but I was slacking on the tracking. Didn't mean to make that rhyme, but that was kinda sick. Anyways, the point being is I was slacking, and it didn't feel good because it was just a guessing game. I would go to bed like, "Oh, did I overeat today? I don't know," because I didn't track it. But for the past month and a half, I've been locked in. I've been tracking my calories down to the salt, and I am telling you, it does not get any better than that. You feel so good because you just know. If my maintenance is 23 to 2,500 calories, depending on the day, and I eat 2,000 calories, I know I'm going to lose fat. Now, the scale fluctuates because there's water and bad sleep and stress and all this sort of stuff. But the 7 day trend is when you want to look at. And I know if I eat in 3 to 500 calorie deficit every day, I'm going to lose fat. It's not any if, ands, or buts. But where people get stressed out is where they're maybe not going for their walks, or they're not tracking their food down to a T, or they're underestimating their food even when they're tracking it, or they're eating out a lot and underestimating their food because there's no calories just listed out there. And the list goes on. There's so many things. But the second you just track everything down to a T, the peace of mind you get is unlike anything else. I'm telling you. Today, actually, I hit my lowest weight in months because it's been a mental battle for even me for the past 6 months. Because, like I said, I was in the best shape of my life. June 2025, I was 150 pounds and 10% body fat. Felt amazing. But then I just rebounded, pulled that band a little bit too hard, kind of starved myself a little bit. But it was also just psychological stuff of just mental comparing myself to other people and going all in on my business and the unknown and uncertainty. It was just a lot. And my dopamine fell to food. But over the past 6 months, I have just put so much pressure on myself because I'm a fitness coach that I need to be perfect. I need to look like these influencers online who are using all these substances. And it's not even realistic for me, who is just a natural kid who's lifting at 21 years old. Like it's not realistic because they've been lifting for 10, 15, 20 years and they're on all this stuff, and I've been lifting for like 3, 5 years and I'm natural. So the point being is that I put so much pressure on myself that I just wasn't doing anything. I was just binge eating because I was almost stressed out that like I didn't look like them, but the result of that was that I was just making myself worse because I was just binging more and not tracking my food. So for the past month and a half, I changed that. I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. I need to lock in again. And I did. Like I said, been tracking my calories down to the salt, and I've never felt better. And today I hit my lowest weight in weeks, 162.6 pounds. And I feel amazing because I just broke that. And honestly, though, I hit it way before in my mind than I did in the physical world. And what I mean by that is mentally, I'm just, because my goal is to hit 147 pounds. I might not need to go that low, but that's just my goal for now. So in my mind, I'm mentally already 147 pounds. I'm the version of Josh who's 147 pounds. So when I hit 162.6, it was like, okay, that's cool. But I knew that was going to come because even the past 8 days I was traveling and it was very tough, but I still stayed in a caloric deficit. And I knew it was going to be lighter. And that's the peace of mind that you get when You just track your food and you just know. I'm telling you, your body is a direct reflection of your decisions. And yes, there's other factors in life. There's when you're traveling through the night or changing time zones and going to hotels and the unknown of the restaurant and what they cook stuff in and all this sort of stuff. I know there's a lot more to it than just, oh, it's this simple. But it is simple, but it doesn't mean it's easy. Because people get that word mixed up. They're like, "Oh, it's not that simple." No, 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 no. It is that simple. It's just not that easy. That is the key difference. It is simple to just track your calories and be in a caloric deficit and eat more calories than you burn. That's it. That's how simple it is. It's just doing it is way harder. Just like consistency. Consistency sounds so easy on paper. Oh, just do the same thing every single day? Perfect. I'll do that. But then you wake up one morning sad, or you wake up one morning tired, or you wake up one morning depressed, whatever it might be, and then you don't do it. And then boom, consistency's out the window. And like I say all the time, if you're not consistent, you won't get results because consistency is all that matters. So when it comes to your calories, you have to track them. I'm telling you, there's no way around it. So instead of fighting it, just find a way to love it because a person who loves to walk will always walk further than the person who's just walking for the destination. And what that means is that if you're only doing this to hit a certain weight, once you hit that weight, you're just going to go right back up. Even me, for example, I'm eating 2,000 calories right now. I'm mentally the version of Josh who's 147 pounds. So I just eat that way. I eat 2,000 calories. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's not like, oh, like how much longer do I have to do this until I can go back to eating whatever no. I just eat 2,000 calories. That's me. And I know the result's going to follow. I'm not focused on the destination. I'm just focused on, okay, how do I make eating 2,000 calories fun? Well, I love eating my beef with a little bit of honey on it. I love having my Greek yogurt and frozen fruit and a little bit of honey maple syrup. Like there's ways around it. Enjoying the journey is the true secret to life. And that's the thing is the next month, for example, I'm not focused on, okay, how many pounds can I lose in the next month? I'm just, okay, I'm going to eat 2,000 calories every single day for the next month and we'll see where I'm at. Yeah, like my goal is to be around mid to high 150s, but I know what's gonna happen and I'm not controlling the outcome, I'm just controlling the inputs. You can't control the outcome, so stop focusing on it. Just control your inputs. If you eat 2,000 calories every single day, get your 10,000 steps, work out 3 times a week, and really treat sleep like a job, it is impossible. Not, oh, it, might happen. No, it is impossible to not see results. I've never seen anyone, including myself, do all that and not see results. Because guess what? When I wasn't seeing results was when I wasn't doing the inputs. The most anxious I've been in my life, the most, oh my God, am I like even on the right path? The most, all these negative thoughts that I've had in my life have always come from when I just wasn't doing the work. But every time I've been locked in, tracking my calories, going for my walks, getting my proper sleep, working out, was when I felt the best. Because you're always going to question if it's working when you're not doing the work. But if you just do the work, you just know it's going to work. It's that simple. Again, not easy, but it's that simple. And I've been through a lot in a year. Like I said, it was June 2025. I was in the best shape of my life. Boom, ballooned up to, one of the heaviest I've ever been in my life just in a few months. And then now I'm going to get in the best shape of my life ever. Better than June 2025 because my mindset is just on a different level right now. I am not focused on the outcome one bit. I'm just focused on what do I need to do every single day that 147-pound Josh would do. And ask that question to yourself. What would you, the highest version of you, do to get to the goal that you want to go to? And get rid of the whole I need to be at this destination. I need to be at this weight. I need to hit this certain amount of PR. No. Just focus on what does that version of you do? And that is where the secret lies, is when you just focus on what you need to do now and just start. That's the other key, is start now. Start now, start scared, start messy. Just do it. When I first started my cut a month and a half ago now, I was 168.8 pounds at 5'5". That was a little heavier than I wanted to be. And I truly think I was getting tested by the universe, because it's just like the universe testing me in the way of, are you going to keep on doing what's comfortable and just eat out of pleasure and just be like 15 to 20 pounds heavier than your highest timeline version of yourself? Or are you going to lock in? And yes, this sucks, because just in December of 2025, you were literally 165 pounds. So now you have an extra almost 4 pounds to lose for no reason, which sucked, because in my head, I'm just like, dang it. Like, if I would have just started in December, then I wouldn't have had that when I went to Bahamas and ate a lot more. But it's okay. I loved my version of me that got myself there, because that's just it, is, the version of me who was binge eating and just going through a lot, facing everything head on, sober. He started, at least. He did a lot of scary things. I've done, like, I don't know why I'm talking in third person, but I've done a lot of scary things. I quit my job, which was terrifying. I've started this business, which is terrifying. I am putting myself out there online, which is terrifying sometimes. But I understand why that version of Josh went to food, because without alcohol in his life, without really kind of fitting in with anyone, because I'm doing what I'm doing, and without my identity as just being a pilot anymore, and just all these sort of things, all I had really left for like my comfort zone was food. But now I'm at the point where the past month and a half, I was just like, no, this isn't going to be my future. Like, I'm getting back in the best shape of my life. And I'm happy that I went there, though, because I remember when I was lean back in June of 2025, I was questioning, am I too light? Does this even does this even need to be where I need to be? Like, do I need to be heavier? All these sort of things. And I just had so many questions. I was just taking the 10% body fat for granted. But then I tested out the whole bulking, you can almost call it, and feeling soft and being 15 and 20 pounds heavier than the most ideal version of myself. And I did not like it one bit. Being lean is amazing. And again, it all comes down to your goal, because I'm not here to be the biggest guy in the room and be a bodybuilder, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do that, do it, but know your intention, because my intention is to be healthy, lean, feel good, move quick, all that sort of stuff. So for me, being heavier and having my abs kind of faded and just feeling slower did not feel good. I remember even at one point when I was like at my heaviest, I was going for walks almost, and I was kind of getting a little bit out of breath. And I'm like, whoa, I've never had this happen before. But it showed me things I never experienced when I've kind of always just been so lean. Because another part of my life, back in the summer of 2024, I was grinding as a flight instructor, working 10, 12, 14-hour flying days, just getting flight after flight after flight in. And that was a great example of, everyone says it's so hard to eat healthy when I'm busy. I find it the complete opposite. I find it so easy to eat at least less calories than I burn, but even healthy too, because if you just meal prep and bring your meals, you don't have the time to sit around and contemplate eating more food. No, you just eat your meal and you keep going. So for me, like, I was just honestly kind of under eating, but I was just so focused on doing my workouts, flying, and then just eating when I could. I wasn't prioritizing my nutrition to where I should be, but I was lean. Like I was 141.5 pounds at one point, which I won't lie, I felt amazing, but I'm happy with my whole almost 2 years now of progress because I've put on a lot of muscle since then. But you don't need to get to the point where I got you to put on muscle. Like my goal now is to get lean again, get in the best shape of my life ever. And when I'm that lean, just eat at maintenance and progressively overload. And over the years, I'll just keep on adding muscle. If you can't see your abs anymore, that's just an excuse to get fat. That's not bulking. You do not need to get that big to actually put on muscle. But anyway, calories are super important. And if you neglect calories, it's going to give you so much headache and stress than if you were to just track your calories. I'm telling you, so many people, just including myself for a little bit of my life, was like, oh, like, I don't want to track my calories. And guess what? Every time I was in that headspace, I didn't have results. But when I just did the work and put my head down and just didn't question anything and just started loving the walk and stopped trying to find an excuse for everything, the results show up just like that every time because you can either have excuses or results, but not both. And that's the key is you cannot have both. A lot of people think you can just have both and it's like no, like that energy that you're finding an excuse for of why you can't track your calories or why it's restrictive or why all these sort of things is the exact reason why you can't go to bed with the peace of mind that you'll wake up later tomorrow because you don't even know how much calories you ate. That's just it. Is everyone is like, "Oh, it's so restrictive to track your calories." No, it's actually the most freeing thing ever because I know tomorrow I'm going to wake up later and if I keep on doing this over a long enough period of time, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life. Again, that is not easy. The past 8 days I was traveling, I was in Florida seeing family, and I ate out every day. And oh my, like it is a challenge, but it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be worth it. I remember thinking that when I was sitting there, I'm like, wow, I literally have the decision right now to stop, meaning like I was done my dinner and stuff, but like stop and not have dessert and all this sort of stuff, or just make excuses for why, oh, when in Florida or when seeing family. But then guess what? My results would have been worse because a year ago, when I went on that same trip to go see the same family, I had some extra snacks, I had some pizza, I had all this sort of stuff, and I came back from that trip, same exact trip, same length, 2 or 3 pounds heavier. It was bad. That was in February 2025. This year, I came back zero point 0.8 pounds lighter because I was way more disciplined. I was tracking all my food. Even when I was out at restaurants, I was always overestimating, not underestimating. So I use AI a lot for when I go out because I just, all I do is just take a picture, give the description of the food, and whatever the estimate is, I always just pick the highest number because I would rather undereat a little bit than just be like, oh, I'm gonna pick the lowest number, then hope it's just not the highest. No, like I want the result more than I want the comfort, you can call it, of just eating whatever I want. Because I felt that for the past 6 months. I felt for the past 6 months what it feels like to just eat whatever I want. And it was okay, but getting results feels 10 times better. But most importantly, doing what you say, nothing beats it. When I just say, no, I mean 2,000 calories and I stop, that feeling is so freeing. And you can't even understand it until you just do it yourself. I'm telling you, if you say you're gonna go to the gym, go. If you say you're gonna eat 2,000 calories, eat them. If you say you're gonna go for that walk, go for that walk. If you say you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep, get 8 hours of sleep. Because the reason you don't feel good about yourself is because you don't trust yourself. Think about it. If I was your friend and you told me all the time, or sorry, shall I say, I told you all the time, like, hey man, I'm gonna come to the gym or come to the gym with you tomorrow, and I didn't show up. So then you invite me again the day after. and then I don't show up. And then you invite me the day after that, and I'm like, yeah, I'm coming, I'm coming. And I don't show up. And you keep on doing that. Eventually, you're going to stop inviting me because you don't trust me anymore. You're like, bro, your word doesn't even mean anything. You literally said for the past 14 days you're going to come to the gym with me and you just never came. That's you with yourself. You keep telling yourself you're going to start tracking your food and start eating healthier and start doing all these things. But then when you're in the moment where you're getting tested, because by the way, when you say you're going to do something, the universe tests you right away. Every freaking time. It's insane how it works. But when you get tested, you always break. You don't do what you say. Oh, I'm gonna eat 2,000 calories today. You look at your phone, you're at 2,000 calories, and then you go eat the 1,000 calorie crumble cookie. No wonder you don't trust yourself. I wouldn't trust you either. And that's how I felt for a little bit too, was when I would be like, okay, I'm gonna start getting in the calorie deficit, but then my actions didn't match what I was, or sorry, yeah, my actions didn't match what I wanted because I would say, "Oh, I'm gonna start eating in a calorie deficit, but then not track my calories and then just eat whatever I wanted." Again, not whatever I wanted, like high quality food, but like anything of the high quality food. Like I didn't stop. There was no ceiling. And that's the thing is I felt terrible because I'm just sitting there like, damn, like I told myself I was gonna eat 2,000 calories today, and I have no idea how many calories I ate today, and I feel bloated going to bed. No worse feeling. But then the opposite of that is, wow, I said I was going to eat 2,000 calories today. I did it even though I was out with family, could have had dessert, all this sort of stuff. And I chose me tomorrow rather than me today. You must be willing to sacrifice who you are today for who you're becoming tomorrow. If you always just focus on right now, you're never going to feel good in the future. You have to focus on what would future version of you want. And tracking your calories is a huge step in the right direction when it comes to that, because I know if I eat 2,000 calories for the next 2, 3 months, it's inevitable that I'll be 147 pounds or whatever I decide to be once I get down to that weight. Anyways, to wrap up this episode, calories is all that matters when it comes to weight loss. If you are not tracking your calories, you're playing a guessing game, and a guessing game leaves you with headaches and stress. So if you want to eliminate the headaches and stress and actually get results and go to bed with peace of mind that you'll wake up later tomorrow, track your calories. Do not overcomplicate this. Please track your calories. I've tried both in the year of 2025, and I'm telling you, nothing is more freeing. Nothing feels more amazing than just the freedom of when you know, oh, I ate less calories than I burned today. I'm going to wake up later tomorrow. It is that simple. Not easy, but it's simple because health is simple. Convenience is the trap. And if you always just do what feels good right now, you're never going to have a future that feels good. That's just the harsh reality because you have to be willing to sacrifice who you are today for who you want to become tomorrow. And it's not easy sometimes because, especially in a world where they want you always like instant gratification, instant gratification, instant gratification, like Amazon Prime, same day delivery or 1 day delivery. You can go out and get any meal you want, like Italian, Chinese, Indian. You can go get any dessert right now. You can go to the grocery store, get any, like it's all instant gratification. So if you can learn delayed gratification in a world filled with instant gratification, you'll be dangerous. And most importantly, you'll feel so good because no one can control their calories anymore. Like I said at the beginning, everyone or a lot of people that aren't where they want to be are probably eating 50%, if not more, calories than they think they're eating. A lot of people, you ask them, they don't even know how many calories is their maintenance, which means they don't even know how many calories they should be eating to lose weight or to gain weight. So track your calories, it will change your life. I know it's probably not what you want to hear, but it's the truth. And I'm only here to report the truth. And sometimes the truth is hard to hear, but I'd rather you find a way to make peace with the truth, then just run from it. Because all these products and things are going to sell you the easy way out. But there's always a caveat. Even these peptides or Ozempic, there's side effects to it. Just eat less calories. It's really that simple. And I'm telling you, if you just start doing it, you'll be amazed about how feel you how feel how amazing you feel. Because again, just in even 3 months, for example, I went from being the version of Josh who was stressed and just binge eating and not tracking any calories to the version of Josh who's mentally 147 pounds and locked in eating 2,000 calories a day. And there's no better feeling. Just doing what you say feels so good. And I will die by that, in the way of, if anyone says it isn't a good feeling, you've never experienced it. Because I'm telling you, if you've been overweight, like really overweight for more than 3 years, you don't even know what it feels like to feel this good. But the crazy part about it is there's nothing stopping you except for you from feeling this good. That's what's insane, is that sometimes I'll get people that are mad at me because I'm shirtless or I am in really good shape or whatever. You can do this too. There's nothing stopping you from going on more walks. That's free. It's actually cheaper to eat less. Working out is very simple. You can even just do at home workouts if you really are on a budget. You are the only person stopping you from having a nice physique and good health. The day that you stop blaming everything and everyone else for why you don't have what you have, and you just point that finger back at you, your life will change. But most people won't. They love to blame politics. They love to blame other people. They love to blame everything but the one person that's holding them back, which is you. I could have easily 3 years ago kept being a vegetarian, kept just going along with the flow, doing what everyone tells me to do when it comes to my health and fitness. But no, I decided to completely flip my life and start eating meat. I decided to completely start testing everything on myself and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work, and just doing, honestly, the best advice I can give you is you're better off just doing the opposite of what everyone else tells you. Because everyone nowadays is just sick. And it's very sad to see, because they've been sick for so long, they don't even know how it feels to feel this good. And I don't say that from an arrogant place. I say that from a place of, wake up. I'm telling you, wake up. You are in control of your life. You are captain. You are pilot in command of your life. You are the only one holding you back. And you have to have some faith in me, some trust that if you just push through for 3 months, 6 months, you can be a completely different person. But most people will divert to an alternative shortcut or just quitting well before they get to the destination. And that's the harsh truth. And then they go around the rest of their life saying, oh, it doesn't work. Nothing works for me. It's my genetics. No, you just didn't try for long enough. If you stay consistent with something for 3 months, 6 months, a year, it is impossible that you won't see the result. It's just you either don't put in the work or you don't put in the work long enough. That's it. Put in the inputs, the outputs will follow. I am living proof of it. Past 6 months, I wasn't doing the inputs. Of course, I was softer than I wanted to be. Past month and a half, started doing the inputs relentlessly, consistently. Oh, wouldn't you know it? Today, the lightest I've ever been in months. And I feel amazing. Health is simple, convenience is a trap. If you always do the easy thing, you're going to fall to convenience. But if you do the hard thing now, you're going to have an easy life later. I'm excited for our next episode. We're going to deep dive into some macros. But just remember, calories are all that matter if you want to lose weight and especially lose fat. Track your calories. It isn't hard. Sorry, it isn't easy, but it is simple and you are in control of your life. If you keep on trying to find every other way to lose weight than to just track your calories and eat less, no wonder you're always going to be stressed out and have headaches. That freedom you're looking for comes from just doing the work that you keep putting off.